Chapter 8. And the men of Ephraim say unto him, What is this thing thou hast done to us, not to call for us when thou didst go to fight with Midian? And they strive with him severely. And he saith unto them, What have I done now like you? Are not the gleanings of Ephraim better than the harvest of Abiezer? Into your hand hath God given the heads of Midian, Oreb and Zeeb. And what have I been able to do like you? Then their temper desisted from off him in his speaking this thing. And Gideon cometh in unto the Jordan, passing over, he and the 300 men who are with him, wearied and pursuing. And he saith to the men of Succoth, Give, I pray you, cakes of bread to the people who are at my feet, for they are wearied, and I am pursuing after Zebah and Zalmunna, kings of Midian. And the heads of Succoth say, Is the hand of Zebah and Zalmunna now in thy hand, that we give to thy host bread? And Gideon saith, Therefore, in Jehovah's giving Zebah and Zalmunna into my hand, I have threshed your flesh with the thorns of the wilderness, and with the threshing instruments. And he goeth up thence to Penuel, and speaketh unto them thus. And the men of Penuel answer him as the men of Succoth answered. And he speaketh also to the men of Penuel, saying, In my turning back in peace, I break down this tower. And Zebah and Zalmunna are in Karkor, and their camps with them, about 15,000, all who are left of all the camp of the sons of the east. And those falling are 120,000 men, drawing sword. And Gideon goeth up the way of those who tabernacle in tents, on the east of Nobah and Jogbehah, and smiteth the camp, and the camp was confident. And Zebab and Zalmunna flee, and he pursueth after them, and captureth the 2 kings of Midian, Zebah and Zalmunna, and all the camp he hath caused to tremble. And Gideon son of Joash turneth back from the battle at the going up of the sun, and captureth a young man of the men of Succoth, and asketh him. And he describeth unto him the heads of Succoth and its elders, 77 men. And he cometh in unto the men of Succoth, and saith, Lo, Zebah and Zalmunna, with whom ye approached me, saying, Is the hand of Zebah and Zalmunna now in thy hand, that we give to thy men who are wearied bread? And he taketh the elders of the city, and the thorns of the wilderness, and the threshing instruments, and teacheth by them the men of Succoth. And the tower of Penuel he hath broken down, and slayeth the men of the city. And he saith unto Zebah and unto Zalmunna, How, the men whom ye slew in Tabor? And they say, As thou, so they, one, as the form of the king's sons. And he saith, My brethren, sons of my mother, they. Jehovah liveth, if ye had kept them alive, I had not slain you. And he saith to Jether his firstborn, Rise, slay them. And the young man hath not drawn his sword, for he hath been afraid, for he is yet a youth. And Zebah saith, also Zalmunna, Rise thou, and fall upon us, for as the man his might. And Gideon riseth, and slayeth Zebah and Zalmunna, and taketh their round ornaments which are on the necks of their camels. And the men of Israel say unto Gideon, Rule over us, both thou and thy son and thy son's son, for thou hast saved us from the hand of Midian. And Gideon saith unto them, I do not rule over you, nor doth my son rule over you. Jehovah doth rule over you. And Gideon saith unto them, Let me ask of you a petition, and give ye to me each the ring of his prey, for they have rings of gold, for they are Ishmaelites. And they say, We certainly give. And they spread out the garment, and cast thither each the ring of his prey. And the weight of the rings of gold which he asked is 1,700 shekels of gold, apart from the round ornaments, and the drops, and the purple garments which are on the kings of Midian, and apart from the chains which are on the necks of their camels. And Gideon maketh it into an ephod, and setteth it up in his city, in Ophrah. And all Israel go a-whoring after it there, and it is to Gideon and to his house for a snare. And Midian is humbled before the sons of Israel, and have not added to lift up their head. And the land resteth 40 years in the days of Gideon. And Jerubbaal son of Joash goeth and dwelleth in his own house. And to Gideon there have been 70 sons coming out of his loin; for he had many wives. And his concubine, who is in Shechem, hath borne to him, even she, a son; and he appointeth his name Abimelech. And Gideon son of Joash dieth in a good old age, and is buried in the burying place of Joash his father, in Ophrah of the Abiezrite. And it cometh to pass, when Gideon is dead, that the sons of Israel turn back and go a-whoring after the Baalim, and set over them Baal-berith for a god. And the sons of Israel have not remembered Jehovah their God, who is delivering them out of the hand of all their enemies round about, neither have they done kindness with the house of Jerubbaal (Gideon), according to all the good which he did with Israel.